Great. Thank you. Again, this webinar is to talk about your role as a moderator for this year's Homes Within Reach conference, which is taking place December 4th, 5th, and 6th in Harrisburg. As a moderator, one of your benefits is that you get free registration for the day of the panel that you moderate. So please make sure that you have registered, and of course encourage all members of the workshop to register as well if they haven't already. So really our goal is we just want to make sure that everybody has a successful panel. You know what, we have a bit of background noise, so I'm going to go ahead and mute all lines.
The conference has been muted.
Can folks hear me? Someone type yes if folks can hear me. Excellent. Again, our goal for you all is to have the most successful panel as possible, a great workshop. We want you to help and work with your panelists to make sure folks are prepared, that presentations stay on task, and that there is a really productive question and answer at the end. Sort of the duties that you have before the conference is, again, to remind your panelists to register prior to the event, organize calls to prepare panelists for the conference. Again, if you need assistance in any of this, all Housing Alliance staff are available to support you. But, just make sure that when you are going over your presentations that you're reviewing the time and how the information flows and really keeping to the purpose and focus of the panel. We really want to make sure that your PowerPoint should be on one laptop. So make sure that you assign somebody to bring a laptop. Maybe have a backup of somebody having the presentation on a thumb drive as well. And then also, for starting off the Q&A, sometimes people like to have some questions already written out. So just make sure that panelists are aware of those questions and that they've been fielded before the conference. On the day of your workshop, what you will see in your room is that there will be a packet containing table tents as well as the CLEs and the CEU forms. This is for credits for continuing education for both lawyers and social workers. So there will be a room monitor assigned in addition, so that way you can check in with the room monitor, and if there are any issues with technology or there isn't a packet, anything like that, this person can run and fix anything and get whatever you need. If you are going to be distributing handouts prior to the workshop, or if you have handouts for the workshop, please distribute them prior to. This will include surveys that we ask that you pass out to all attendees to your workshop. And then we really like to be able to share the PowerPoints after the conference. So if you could please email us your PowerPoint. You can email it to us beforehand or after the conference, so that way we can post it online and people can continue to access the information. During the session, we want you to introduce the speakers. We really are looking to you to keep the speakers on task. We ask you to be the time monitor because we really want to make sure that there's ample time for question and answer, because that discussion really is the best part of any workshop. Of course, facilitate that Q&A. always thank our speakers, and then handle the paperwork. So this means announcing that you have the CLE, the CEU forms for attorneys and social workers, and that they will be available at the end of the session, and that this information can be picked up at the registration table anytime during the conference as well. And then if there is any other questions or any information, please remember that, you know, any of the Housing Alliance staff is available. Our main office number is 215-576-7044. There's also the Western Pennsylvania office. That phone number is 412-281-1137. And with that, we have a couple of questions that have been typed in. And so I'm going to read through those and answer those, and then I will open up the line for any further discussion. So our first question is, what is the deadline for submitting the PowerPoint? So you don't necessarily need to submit the PowerPoint ahead of time. You just need to be prepared within your individual group as to who's going to be responsible for making sure that you have a laptop and a thumb drive ready to go the day of. After the conference, if you could get it to us, you know, before Christmas, I think that would be really, really helpful, because we'll probably get everything up online when we get back into the swing of things in January. The next question is, so you don't need us to provide a copy of our PowerPoints before the conference. Again, you don't need to necessarily provide it to us. You just need to make sure that somebody within your panel, when you're organizing, is prepared and ready to have it the day of. If you would like to send it to one of us in advance, just to, you know, get some feedback or anything like that, again, all our staff is here to help you and work with you the day of and beforehand to make sure that you have the most successful workshop possible. Our next question is, will all the projectors have clickers for advancing screens? I don't believe so. Usually what we do with the projectors is we have a lot of folks bring in, donate their projectors and share. Some may have clickers, some may not. We can't guarantee that there will be a clicker, so you may have to advance slides manually through the laptop itself. So with that, I am going to open up the line, and if there's any other questions, please feel free and speak up.
The conference has been unmuted.
And that's my one criticism.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Hey Gail, it's Peter Bruton. Is there any way we could reach out to the web designer to have the picture for our conference changed?
I'm sorry. What?
The picture for our panel on the land trust, it just has a garden and it's about housing, and I was just wondering if we could reach out to someone and get that picture changed.
You want it on the website, on the conference
on the website for the conference, yeah.
Absolutely, we can get that taken care of.
Should I just shoot you an email?
Yeah, that would be great. If you could just shoot me an email, and then we could probably get that in the next day or two. But once the change is done, we'll let you know, and you can take a look at it and let us know if it's up.
Thanks a lot.
Hi, this is Phyllis Reich from TD Bank, and I have a question about changes in panel composition.
I could go through and do it all.
Okay.
So it turns out that we have two substitutes. One is the moderator, which is why I'm on the call, and the other is one of the panelists. can I just email you that information and it'll get updated?
Yes. Please email it to us today. I'm
Okay.
not sure what our deadline is for our printed materials, but it will most certainly be updated by the end of the day for the website.
Okay.
Colleen, do you know what the deadline is for printed materials?
Sure. The deadline for printed materials will be this Friday, November 10th.
Oh, okay. Well, I can get, I'll, as soon as we get off the call, I will email you with the correct information.
Great. Thank you.
All righty.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And I'm sorry, I might have missed this because I was pulled in a different direction for a second. If we have printed materials, we are to make those copies ourselves and bring them? Or I'm not sure where
if you have handouts that you want to provide for your specific stuff, then we do ask that you bring them. You do provide those and bring them because we're just not going to have capacity the day of. That being said, what we will do is we send about a week in advance, week and a half in advance of the conference. We're going to send you the registration list for your individual workshops, and that will give you a sense of how many copies that you need to make. It will also give you a sense of who the audience is for your particular work.
Works well with others, and
so we can scope the presentation a little more. Okay.
Agreed.
And so the deadline for printed materials of this week was for which? Okay, so for when I say printed materials, it's our for anybody who has changes to their workshop panelists, anything like that, so that when we print our books for the conference, so if you have any of those types of changes, that deadline is for this Friday, November 10th. Now, if you have printed materials that you want to provide for your workshop, something about your individual organization or a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, that's something that you can bring with you to the conference.
Culture, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that's what you need to do.
Do we have any other questions from folks on the phone?
Will there be somebody in the room to help us set up, like attach the laptop to the projector, or do we need to be able to be techie and do that all ourselves?
Every room is going to have a room monitor that's going to be checking on you and making sure technology is working well, that you're not in that the air conditioning and the room temperature is fine, and we'll be there to support in any sort of way possible. So we do have staff assigned for that purpose.
Okay.
And can you say again when you'll be sending the lists of those who pre-registered for the sessions?
About a week or a week and a half in advance.
Perfect, thanks.
Is there any other questions? Great. I want to thank you all again for taking the time to get on this webinar, and again for being moderators for our Homes Within Reach conference. If you have any questions at all, or if anything comes up at all, please feel free to call the Housing Alliance main number at 215-576-7044. Or you can also call me in the Pittsburgh office, or my phone number is 412-281-1137. With that, if there isn't any other questions, I want to thank you all and have a very good afternoon, and have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll be seeing you in December.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.